One of the reasons I went to Mars was I didn't grow up Reformed. I grew up Methodist. I kind of fell in love with Reformed doctrine in college. And it was a Reformed Presbyterian school. And I had really fallen in love with the Westminster Standards, but also the three forms of unity. And I found that Mid-America blended the two and took great pains to show the blessings of both of them and how they work together. So that was really one of the big selling points, probably one of the two biggest benefits that I saw at Mid-America over a lot of other seminaries. The second being putting that doctrine into practice with preaching and teaching and getting the students doing that. The longer I'm in the ministry, the more I realize that all of the seemingly random questions that you had to memorize and study and cram for in school, there's a reason they want you to cram as much of that in and know it by heart, and that's in the ministry. You need a grasp of it right away because you don't know what crisis is going to come up or what question is going to be brought to the foreground, whether right after the worship service or in catechism class or in a pastoral setting. And it's essential to really have a grasp of the foundations, of the basics, because you've got to know that stuff. You've got to have it down cold in order to apply it to the lives of God's people. But in the world we live in today, with the turmoil politically, religiously, culturally, not just in our nation, but in a global society, our people need to know really where their comfort is, where their hope is, and they need to have it down pat. If they don't see that as essential, their kids certainly won't see it as essential, and their grandkids won't care at all about it. But if they see it as essential, then they have that building block to really go out as emissaries into the world for Christ, and to show that He really does make a difference. He makes a difference in how we work, in how we raise a family, in how we cultivate a marriage, in how we do politics, everything we do really arises from that foundation. But they have to get it here in the preaching of the Word and in the teaching of the Word. And they can't get it here if their minister hasn't gotten it first, and if their elders haven't gotten a firm grasp of it. So I think, that's really where it all starts. That's why the Catechism is so very clear, the Heidelberg Catechism, on the necessity of cultivating good theological schools.